No matter if you are a poor nobody or a rich popular celebrity, death comes for us all, and we never know when or how it will happen. Sometimes actors pass away during big unfinished projects, and studios are forced to patch up the void that is left behind. So today I want to look at 3 different ways studios have used to accommodate for their major stars tragically dying during production, and determine which is the best and most ethical approach. To do this, I'll be looking at The Fast and Furious, Star Wars, and Wakanda Forever. The Star Wars universe began in 1977, and that's where we first saw Carrie Fisher in the role of Leia Skywalker. Her story ended satisfyingly until Disney bought Lucasfilms and decided to make the new sequels. Here the character of Leia was brought back, and the final film of the trilogy was supposed to be about her, but sadly, Carrie passed away on the 27th December 2016, just after finishing the second film, The Last Jedi. To most people's surprise, Carrie would still appear in the final film in 2019, 2 years after she passed away. The Leia we got on the screen was made of previous or unused footage throughout the previous films. Unfortunately, this resulted in a performance that was rather awkward to watch. Leia would display hardly any emotions, and a lot of moments only the back of her head was showing. Now this is rather disappointing for this to be her last ever cinematic appearance, and I believe she would not be happy with how it turned out. I can understand needing to use CGI mid-production if an actor dies, but consciously making the decision to put them in the next film, despite not being here anymore, is rather profit-orientated. I am not a lawyer, but it feels a bit weird for a studio to take a person's image and voice and use it without their permission to advance their future stories. What makes this situation much worse, I believe, is that Carrie's character could have easily been killed off in the previous film. In The Last Jedi, Leia's ship is shot and she gets sucked into the vacuum of space. But in the film, they make her fly back into the ship, where she gets into a coma before waking up later in the film. The studio had a whole year to edit the footage after the tragic news, but instead chose to stick with it despite knowing the future struggles they will have. Due to Carrie not actually being there for the last film, the character of Leia failed to have the impact they wanted anyways, so it would have been better for the film if she was left out from it entirely, instead of trying to be greedy. The Fast and Furious franchise began in 2001, with Paul Walker as the lead, and has continued its franchise till this day. However, on the 30th of November 2013, Paul died after being in a car accident. This occurred during the production of the 7th film, which was then released in 2015. Due to Paul's sudden passing, most of the film had to be rewritten, and some parts where Paul's character appears had to be completed by using CGI on top of his brother's performance. Using these methods and considering what happened, the writers changed his character's story to make him retire from the life of danger and excitement, giving Paul and his character a memorable and considerate send-off.
You'll always be with me. And you'll always be my brother.
However, despite Paul being gone, the franchise still had to make 3 films. So the writers cleverly provided reasons for his character to be off the screen in the future movies, and make constant hints that his character is still part of the group, just appears off screen. This not only provides a very satisfying and happy ending for his character, but also pays tribute and makes us remember Paul himself. The writers could have easily killed his character off, but chose to rewrite their vision to keep Paul's memory alive forever. I'd say this was very well done for a big studio, as they only used CGI where necessary and did not try to use Paul's image for their greater benefit. Finally, in 2018, we saw Chadwick Boseman enter the Marvel Universe in Black Panther. Sadly, he was taken on August 28th, 2020. With no immediate sequel in the works, Marvel had plenty of time to decide how to deal with one of their superheroes dying. In 2021, they announced Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, which was then released in 2022. Here, Marvel decided to encompass what happened to Chadwick and make it a secondary plot of the whole movie. The film begins with Chadwick's character dying from an illness, before paying tribute both to Chadwick and his character, the Black Panther. Throughout the story, his death does play a major part for all the characters and the audience watching the film, before giving Chadwick a proper farewell at the end of the film. Unlike the other 2 examples, the studio here decided to take what happened in real life and add it to the story. It didn't try to force reviving him with CGI or making the character suddenly disappear from future films, or even recasting the character. This shows a lot of respect that the studio had for what had happened. However, despite only using Chadwick's character off-screen, the studio decided to promote the new film on Chadwick's social media. Now, this was not very appreciated from the fans, and it is so mind-blowing that someone thought this was okay to do. You can't make a film showing respect to a person and then go on their platform to promote things for your own gain. So today we looked at 3 different ways studios have used actors who passed away. They have killed them off-screen and provided a reason on-screen. They finished current projects with CGI and then let the characters live in peace off-screen. And they made new projects with previous media of the actors they had. Which way of handling the situation do you think was best and most ethical?